changes came out of legal committee at this point. No action was taken, and we'll be moving into audit and finance in 5 minutes. Thank you. Okay, welcome to the Audit and Finance Committee today. We're honored today to have Melissa Grimm's going to kind of lead us through some of these discussions today. I met with her about a week ago. Linda's off today, and I have to say one thing, that I feel very confident with Melissa at the table today, reporting out on the fiscal situation of the authority. So what I'd like to first talk about is our February 28th consolidated statements of revenues and expenditures. And Melissa, why don't you touch upon some of the highlights of that report? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 11 months ending February 2021, we have an approximate operating income of $7.6 million, which is an increase from prior month, but consistent of what we've been seeing month over month. Operating revenues and expenses.
Could all of our listeners on the phone please mute? We're getting some background noise.
Operating revenues and expenditures are trending similar to prior months, with operating revenues trending 54.8% under budget and expenses trending 8.74% under budget. The biggest change of prior month is the non-operating revenue. We did not draw any CARES Act funds in the month of February, and that's because of the accrued revenue for STOA. We did receive our 4th quarter STOA payment in March, which also included the catch-up payment from the state. Is there any questions on the statement of revenues and expenditures?
No, it sounds to be going in the right direction on the expense side and the revenue side. Okay, Melissa.
Okay, next we'll be reviewing the mortgage recording tax statement. In February, we received $751,000, which is consistent with most months in this fiscal year, and we continue to trend over prior year and budget.
I'd like to just comment on this. Maybe after this year we might frame this report. I've never seen this tax collection so high in my entire career here, and boy, it's nice to see something like this, because that means there's something going on out there in the economy in the multiple counties. I see it in Oneida County. I know it's happening in Onondaga. So this is really very impressive. It speaks more than just our revenue. It speaks about the actual local economies on what's happening. When you see cranes in the air, that's good.
Yes,
that's good.
Absolutely. The next statement we'll be reviewing is the cash flow statement. And we ended the month of February with $2.8 million, which is a decrease from last month. And as Linda mentioned in the prior month, that we would be spending down the cash we had in January with the anticipation of STOA, which was delayed, and we did not receive that until March. And then also included in the packet is the statement of reserves. That has just been updated with the year-end projections for 21. Also included is the statement of borrowings. These are not included in the screen. And we have not had to borrow any money from the line of credit or the insurance reserve. And then lastly included as well is the risk management policy summary and the grant summary. And that includes the financial statement report.
Any questions from Melissa? It was well done. With that being said, I need a motion to move this to the full board for adoption. Luella, second. Robert, all in favor? Aye. Okay.
Aye.
Thank you. Moving in for approval of the final budget and financial plan fiscal year. Melissa.
Okay, I'm just going to be reviewing the highlights to the changes from the preliminary budget to the final operating budget. On the screen you see the highlighted changes. We presented a zero-based budget for the preliminary, and we are honored to say the final budget is also a zero-based budget. Revenues, the changes in revenues, regular line revenue decreased by $173,000, and that's primarily due to adjustments we made for the New York State Fair and the possible restrictions that may be on the outdoor amusements due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Same with the special line revenue, that decreased $406,000. Again, that was reduced for the New York State Fair shuttle service regarding the restrictions on the outdoor amusements. Advertising and other decreased $354,000, and this is due to the one-time contract amendment for the Lamar advertising revenue contract. And then into the expenses, salaries and wages increased $27,000, and that is for the new employee incentive program, as well as proposed union wage increases, New York State Fair service, and a possible annual COLA increase. Health care benefits increased $789,000, and the health care benefits are budgeted based on pre-COVID trends of healthcare costs. Pension increased $946,000, and the budget is based on the maximum contribution for the salaried and non-salaried plans, and to ensure all plans are appropriately funded. Workers' compensation increased $139,000.
Keep on listening.
Okay. And that is based on the assumption that as more people get vaccinated throughout the workplace and people return to work on a more full-time basis, that the workers' comp claims exposure will increase. Purchase transportation costs decreased by $151,000, and that was primarily due to we had a new purchase transportation contract come in lower than we anticipated the cost being. Services increased $911,000, and that's primarily due to some marketing campaigns we have planned for 21-22, and some one-time building non-capital services that we need to get done. And then fuel decreased by $569,000, and that's due to the renewal of the CNG tax credit. And then the non-operating, this is the federal is being funded with a remaining CARES Act funding of $4 million, the new CRISA funding of $16 million, and ARPA funding. So we have a lot of federal funding going into next year. Local assistance decreased by $285,000, and that's because we adjusted the budget to accommodate the 9% reduction in the 18B county match for STOA. And mortgage reporting tax decreased $1.5 million, and that budget was adjusted to be more in line with prior years and not to include the one-time bump we received this year for commercial development project.
Yeah, and the local assistance, just so everyone knows, that's tied to a formula that's based on the STOA you receive. So when STOA goes down, the local match goes down.
Any questions on the changes from the preliminary to the final budget?
There's some good numbers in there. I like to see some of the trends. I like your philosophy, methodology on how you're using the numbers pre-COVID. I like the line because of the restructuring under Ryan's direction of the savings with salaries. I like that. So I think there's some good stuff in here. Good stuff.
And it's nice to present a balanced budget.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, not going. I'm gonna ask the board, any questions for the board on this? No. Okay, if not, need a motion, bring it to the full board for approval. Robert, second. Luella, all in favor? Aye. Okay.
Aye.
Caitlin's gonna come up and talk about.
I have one more.
Oh, okay.
We have a couple more to look over.
Okay.
Just a couple word reports.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry about that.
Yep.
So, up on the screen right now is the 3-year operating projection. All assumptions have remained the same from the preliminary budget. The numbers have changed because the final 21 budget has been updated. And the funding. The funding is something that Linda wanted me to highlight. So how each year would be funded from a federal, state, and local standpoint. So in fiscal year 22, we still have a lot of relief funds from the federal government that will be funded. In 23, we have additional ARPA funds that we'll be using, and that will carry us into 24. And in fiscal year 24 is when we will start using the reserves for PM and operating assistance, which will also lead into 25. And in 25 is when we would start using newly allocated preventative maintenance and operating assistance funding. Do you have any questions on that?
And then just, I wanna make a comment that that's very fluid, these types of future year forecasts.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna hold Melissa or Linda to that, but
Thank you.
they do, they do.
It's ever changing.
Okay.
Okay, and then EJ is going, I think he's on the call, he's gonna go over the changes to the capital budget.
Yep, okay. So remember, folks, we have the operating budget and we have the capital budget. So now EJ's gonna talk a little bit about our capital purchases.
Good morning, everyone. There's very slight changes to the capital budget that was adopted back in December. On that capital budget, there was a project for the fare collection or contactless fare collection system. The budget was $500,000. We have increased that to $784,000, which is the contract price. That is 100% federal funded. Also, we added a facilities project in the amount of $500,000, which is going to be to replace the bus wash here in Syracuse and to renovate the maintenance locker room here in Syracuse. And that is also federally funded 80%, 10%, 10%. And those were the only changes.
What was, that other change was how much again, EJ, just from my notes?
$500,000 for the facilities
Yeah, I got that.
project
Yep.
was added,
What was the other one?
and that's 80-10-10.
Yep.
And the other one was for the contactless fare collection system, increased from $500,000 to $784,428.
Okay, 100%.
And just to bring you up to speed on the contact.
Yes, 100% funded.
Fair collection.
We had, folks from Gen Fair were here, this week. They brought in a prototype. It's a box about yay big, maybe like half the size of a tissue box, half the size of that. And that's gonna be mounted right next to the, fare box, so that when you walk on, you just wave your phone, you get a QR code on your phone, you just wave it underneath it, and you can pay your fare that way. So we're moving along with that. We're hoping by July, maybe August.
Okay. Any questions on the capital? Okay, there's no action taken, folks. This is just FYI in both of these last discussions. With that being said now, Caitlin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. So I have the resolution for term design and engineering services. This will be paid for with operating and grant funds depending on the project. This request for proposal was publicly let on February 2nd. We sent out 25 proposal packages and an extra 82 were requested. On February 24th, we received 3 proposals, and the evaluation committee determined that the most advantageous proposal came from CNS Engineers. There is a full 30% MWBE utilization on this contract. So it's my recommendation that the board award the term design and engineering services contract to CNS Engineers for a full 5-year term.
Could I just say that our law firm represents CNS Engineers, just for the record?
Absolutely.
Mackenzie Hughes.
If you didn't say that, I was gonna probably say that for you. Thank you, appreciate it.
I charge more if I could say it.
Okay, pretty basic here. Anybody have any questions on this engineering? Okay, without any other, I'll let you just review that quick. We only have one resolution today. I feel like
That's it.
my pay's not gonna be worth it for coming here today.
Neither's hers.
I could talk about some other stuff if you want me to. Make
Okay,
extra stuff.
so anyway, a motion to accept awarding contract to CNS Engineering. I throw that out there. Robert made a motion. Second? Luella?
Eileen?
Okay. Well, all in favor? Aye. Okay,
Aye.
Melissa, is there any other business to discuss today?
Nope, that was my report.
Okay, I think you did a great job. We did pull grades. I was texting around. You did get an A+, a 4.0,
good.
so
Thank you.
you can put that on your refrigerator. Great job, great job. Okay, folks, we're gonna take 5 minutes and we'll go into the full meeting.